Hi guys, this is IGCSE O-Level Chemistry, paper 22, March 2020, question 31. Oxides of nitrogen such as NO and NO2 are formed in the petrol engines of cars. They are removed from the exhaust gases by reactions in the car's catalytic converter. Which row describes how oxides of nitrogen are formed in a petrol engine and a reaction that happens in the catalytic converter? Okay, so how oxides of nitrogen are formed? By the reaction between nitrogen and oxygen from air? Yes, that is how oxides of nitrogen are formed. And a reaction that happens in the catalytic converter, nitrogen monoxide reacts with carbon monoxide producing nitrogen carbon dioxide. Yes, this is correct. This reaction does happen in a catalytic converter. So option A is the correct option. Let's look at the other options. By reaction between nitrogen and oxygen from air, this is correct. And NO plus H2. Hydrogen gas does not take part in any reaction if that takes place in the catalytic converter. So this reaction is incorrect. Next, by the reaction between nitrogen compounds in petrol and oxygen from air, there are no nitrogen compounds in petrol. And 2NO plus 2CO gives N2 plus 2CO2. This reaction does take place in the catalytic converter. And by the reaction between nitrogen compound in petrol and oxygen from air, no nitrogen compounds formed in petrol. And the reaction is 2NO plus 2H2. No reaction involving hydrogen takes place in the catalytic converter. Since the correct row is A, this makes option A the correct option for this question. Question 32. Zinc is used to cover iron to prevent it from rusting. Why is zinc a suitable metal to use? Iron is more reactive than zinc? No, zinc is more reactive than iron. Iron atoms are bigger than zinc atoms. Zinc is found on the right of the periodic table compared to iron. So the atoms of iron have to be bigger than that of zinc. But this is not the reason why it prevents iron from rusting. So the statement is correct, but its use to prevent iron from rusting is incorrect. So zinc is more reactive than iron. Yes, that is why it prevents iron from rusting because it reacts first. And zinc atoms are bigger than iron atoms. No, zinc atoms are smaller than iron atoms, but that does not justify the use of zinc to cover iron to prevent it from rusting. Therefore, option C is the correct option for this question. Question 33. Fertilizers are mixtures of different compounds used to increase the growth of crops. Which pairs of substances contain the three essential elements for plant growth? These are nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, also known as NPK fertilizers. So, ammonium nitrate contains nitrogen and calcium phosphate contains phosphorus. There is no mention of potassium. Ammonium nitrate contains nitrogen. Potassium chloride contains potassium. No mention of phosphorus. Ammonium phosphate contains nitrogen and phosphorus, and potassium chloride contains potassium. All three are present, so this is correct. And the last one, potassium nitrate contains potassium. Calcium carbonate does not contain nitrogen or phosphorus, so this is incorrect. Therefore, the correct option for this question is option C. Question 34. Which row describes the conditions used in the manufacture of sulfuric acid by contact process? So the catalyst uses vanadium 5 oxide, eliminating options A and B. The pressure used would be low. It is between 2 to 8 atmospheres. So this eliminates option C. And the temperature used is high. This is 450 degrees Celsius. Therefore, option D is the correct option for this question. Question 35. Petroleum is an important raw material that is separated into useful products. Which terms describe petroleum and the method used to separate it? Description. Petroleum is a compound or a mixture. It is a mixture of different hydrocarbons, not a compound. So this eliminates options A and B. Now we will continue with option C and D. And the separating method of these components would be fractional distillation to separate the different hydrocarbons present, and not cracking. Cracking is the process of converting a large fraction into smaller or more useful fractions. So we have fractionally, and it is physical separation of the components present in petroleum, and not a chemical breakdown of the hydrocarbon, which takes place in cracking. So this makes option D the correct option for this question. Question 36. Which statements about propene are correct? Propene contains only single bonds, then it would have been called propane, not propene. So this is incorrect. Propene decolorizes bromine water. Yes, propene is an alkene, and alkenes decolorize bromine water. Propene is obtained by cracking. Yes, cracking produces smaller fractions of hydrocarbons, and these include alkanes and alkenes. And propene is a hydrocarbon. Yes, it only contains carbon and hydrogen as the only elements found in the compound. Since statements 2, 3, and 4 are correct, this makes option B the correct option for this question. Question 37. Which row describes the production of ethanol and its properties? Can be made from glucose through fermentation? Yes. So this eliminates options C and D. Can be made from ethene? Yes. Through addition reaction with steam. So A is correct, B is eliminated. Is used as a fuel? Yes. It is used as a fuel, as an alternate to petrol. And is used as a solvent. Alcohols are used as solvents. So this makes option A the correct option for this question. Question 38. Ethanoic acid is a typical carboxylic acid. Which statement about ethanoic acid is correct? It can be oxidized to produce ethanol. No, this is incorrect. Ethanol can be oxidized to produce ethanoic acid. It is a proton acceptor. It contains the COOH, which donates H positive ions, making it a proton donor, not a proton acceptor. It is fully dissociated in water. It is an organic acid. It is partially dissociated in water. It reacts with ethanol to produce ethyl ethanoate. So ethanol is the alcohol portion of the ester, so it would be ethyl, and ethanoic acid is the acidic portion of the ester, making it ethanoate. So the name of the ester that is formed is correct, making option D the correct option for this question. Question 39. Which structure represents the ester made from ethanoic acid and propanol? So the alcohol part will be written first. So the part that is attached to the oxygen atom would contain 3 carbon atoms, that would be propyl, and the carboxylic acid portion would contain 2 carbon atoms, making it ethanoate. So the ester is called propyl ethanoate. So this is represented in A because the part attached to the single bonded oxygen contains 3 carbon atoms, making it propyl, and the acidic portion contains 2 carbon atoms, making it ethanoate. So this is correct. In option B, we've got propyl present, but we've got propanoate instead of ethanoate. So this is incorrect. In C, we've got 2 carbon in the alcohol portion, making it incorrect, whereas we've got 3 carbon atoms in the acidic portion, making it incorrect as well. And the last one contains 2 carbon atoms in the alcohol portion, making it incorrect, and 2 carbon atoms in the carboxylic acid portion, making it correct. Since the correct ester is represented by the structure given in A, this makes option A the correct option for this question. Question 40. The structure of a polymer is shown. So the structure contains amide bonds formed between different monomer units because the color of the boxes are different. The first one is a clear box, the next one is a dark box, and the third one is a gray shaded box. So we have amide bonds present, and we've got different monomer units. Which statement about the polymer are correct? The polymer is nylon. Nylon is made up of two monomers. Here, three different shaded boxes represent at least three monomer units. So this cancels out the polymer being nylon. Next, the polymer is formed by condensation polymerization. Yes, condensation polymerization removes water, forming the amide bond. There are ester linkages between monomers. There are amide linkages between monomers. Since statement 2 is the only correct statement, this makes option C the correct option for this question.